we need to keep our teachers abreast with the new technology. I raise my voice not to shout, but I raise my voice for those who are unheard. Question lies that how far are we able to inculcate these values?
Great Principles, an educational and interactive talk show that brings together best school leaders of the country. I'm your host Seema Choria and I bring to you yet another exciting episode on Great Principles. Today we have an iconic figure from the world of Indian academia. She is someone who is breaking the shackles of traditional pedagogy. She wholeheartedly supports and executes the new application based pedagogy, which is the opposite of rote method we are also very aware of. She is of the opinion that rote method was detrimental to a child and we must find a learning approach that creates a win-win situation for everyone. The school, teachers, students, and parents. This is what 21st century pedagogy aims to develop skills and knowledge students need to succeed in work, life, and citizenship. Let us all learn how can this 21st century skills be developed. Today we have with us Dr. Neeta Kohli, Principal, Delhi City School, Rohini. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much, Seema, for having given me this opportunity to be here. Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, beginning with ma'am, we all have our once upon a time and our school days and childhood days define what career we choose in future. So, take us back to your once upon a time and give a glimpse of your early years.
Sure. Thank you so much. I had my schooling in a very reputed convent from Delhi, that is Holy Child Senior Secondary School, Jagol Garden. I chose the stream as humanities because I had an inclination towards these subjects, and thereafter I pursued my graduation, the honors history, and later on I did my BA. I joined a small school there for a little training purpose, and later on I pursued my master's in history. I had a dream of becoming a teacher and became a teacher in a very good school. And thereupon, I also completed my MA. PhD had been my dream from since I had stepped into college. I had joined a reputed school in 2000, and the profile of PGT, where I worked in the profile of PGT as well, senior in charge. I was also the academic head, plus I also looked after various curricular activities. Later on, I was promoted to the post of vice principal and then thereupon as principal. This journey has been no less than 22 years. In fact, it is plus 22 years. Every day has been a learning phase for me, and obviously, a teacher keeps learning every day. Every day is a learning phase.
Rightly said, ma'am. Teachers are like lifelong learners. Their learning never stops. They look for learning whomsoever they meet. So, ma'am, as you mentioned that how your career grew as from teacher to coordinators and to vice principal, now principal. So, what's next now? What is your next move?
Well, all these years that I've been in this field of academics, and now that I'm working as the academic chief for quite a long time, what I have felt, Seema, is that we need to keep our teachers abreast with the new technology, with the new changes which come about with changing times. So what is important is to keep the teachers abreast with these changes, and this recent pandemic, which we are still facing and we are going through, has been a learning phase for us, has taught us many things. And this reiterates my faith into being a teacher educator. I have started to past few years I've started working on it. I am working on it, where I am trying to train the teachers, and my next career move will be mold myself into a very efficient teacher educator where I can teach the teachers in experiential learning, in the modern pedagogical principles. To be frank, these are very, very essential for any teacher in the present scenario where each teacher needs to make and be competent enough to plan to train the annual pedagogical plans. They need proper education to keep them abreast, and for that I am working and I will be working in the near future.
Ma'am, a much needed thing today, because suddenly entire education industry was, at a twist with this pandemic happening. From books, we are more into mobile classrooms today. Yes, teacher definitely needs this training. They are a very good learner. They have, all are doing amazingly well on online classes, but with the right training, they'll be able to teach children for experiential learning, which is the need of the hour. So a very well vision ma'am has, and that is what she's looking up to. Going ahead, ma'am, your mantra is to make children future ready. So future ready is your mantra. So how do you practice this in Delhi Public School?
Of course, we need to make the children future ready, and for that, we first need to make our institutions future ready. We need to make our institutions future ready. When I say, I obviously mean that we need to make our not only the buildings future ready, we also need to make a human resource future ready who is going to prepare the children. So the crux now is moving from what I should say, the stress is now moving from capacity instead of capacity building rather than making students just passive learners. We are laying more stress on capacity building where the children are not just passive learners. We are not just laying stress on rote learning and preparing them for exams. We are making them do something. We are making them practice something, and we are making them learn through experience. This is what even the new education policy is laying stress on. Next, another important feature that is that preparing our education, the framework in such a way, and we are working in such a way that we move from system focused teaching to student focused teaching, which will be more individualistic, which will be more personalized, and which will be more based on individual differences of the children, which is very, very important. We cannot just give a lecture, we cannot just throw the things at the children, just thinking that everybody is grasping at the same level. So we have to study the individualistic differences and plan our lessons and plan our strategies accordingly to make the children future ready. Now again, when I say future ready, obviously the technology part, the data science part, the robotics part, all these new avenues that are coming forward, we have to keep the children abreast. And for that, again, what I am reiterating is our human resource, our teachers, our teaching staff, and for that, I will also include the non-teaching staff. So they need to be kept abreast to make the new changes that are coming about. And so that we can prepare the children for the future. They are future ready.
So going ahead, ma'am, talking about future ready and technology, there is one thing that is missing out today. When we see children, we at times feel like they are missing on values. That is the whole, the essence of Indian culture. So, ma'am, what are the values that you believe in, and how do you promote them as a school leader?
There is no denying the fact that our education system has somehow we have not left our roots to the value system, but we are somehow neglecting. And the children that we are having today, the students that the product that we are having today is not very well versed with these values. So we are working on character building. We are working on values, the inculcation of values. Now this has to be through the curriculum as well as besides the curriculum. When I say through the curriculum, I mean the books, the lessons, the chapters, that whatever we are teaching, there has to be a moral connotation also with them.
Right.
Another thing is also having some classes, some separate classes which lay stress on this. For example, storytelling, for example, role play. All these can be where different values are showcased, where different values can slowly and gradually be inculcated among the children. Besides the conventional values of respect to the elders, honesty, truthfulness, what we are now makes us is resilient. How to face different and difficult situations, team spirit has to be there. Hard work, dexterity are no exception.
So very rightly said, ma'am. Only a resilient person could fight the odds of the situations that bring forth. So yes, along with good academic skills and other skills, there are values which keeps a person grounded and keep him ready to face whatever may come in front of them. So very rightly said by ma'am, yes, there is a negligence on the part of values and we all need to take a serious action on it and ensure that along with what families can take up, even schools are doing their best to inculcate values in children. So going ahead, and this brings to me to the section of awards and recognition. So every educator feel very proud and appreciated. We all, in fact, not about educator, every human being feel very proud when his work is recognized and he's been awarded. So tell us which is your proudest moment when you were recognized and you felt very great about it.
Seema, there is no denying the fact that the awards and accolades, they really boost add to your spirit when one's efforts are recognized and rewarded. Of the various awards and accolades that I've received so far, I cherish the award which I received on September 2nd, 2005 from the late Chief Minister of Delhi, Srimati Sheila Dikshit. That was in recognition of my work that I had done till then in the field of education. It reiterated my, self-confidence, my determination, as well as faith in my capability that I could work harder in this field of education and move forward.
Yeah. So going ahead, ma'am, this brings to me to another interesting segment of the show, which is called rapid fire round. Here, you have to answer in one word or maximum one sentence I can permit. So here goes the first question, ma'am. Who is your favorite celebrity?
I don't know whether you will call her a celebrity or not, but I do follow her. She is Mrs. Sudha Murthy.
Yes, definitely. She is truly a celebrity, a very humble celebrity, I must say.
Yeah.
So going ahead, what is your favorite weekend activity? What kind of a hobbies that you are involved in?
I am fond of gardening. Don't have a lush garden at place, but I do have the small pots and all which I take care of. And I also know cooking, do some weekend cooking.
All right. So gardening and cooking is what is ma'am love to do in her free time. Going ahead, ma'am, where would you like to, we all are stuck, we are craving to travel. So where after this pandemic is over and doors are open, where would you like to travel?
I would like to explore the south of India. I have not been there. I've been to live in all in different parts, but not been to South India, Kerala, the lagoons, the beaches. I also want to go to there if I get a chance.
Going ahead, ma'am. Next question. Have you ever played speedball?
No, I haven't played myself personally. I won't say I have played football, but my school excels in the field of football. We have produced children, not we have sent children. We have produced, what should I say, champions in this field, where our children have excelled in the zonals, in the districts, in the national, and even in the international level.
So we were talking about speedball. Yes, ma'am, schools have produced champions in this, and her school actually promotes this on a larger scale. So going ahead, ma'am, the last question of rapid fire is, are you planning to author a book? Yes or no?
Yeah, I am, and I have started working on it. Perhaps in a year or two, I may be able to complete it. Let's see how it comes forward.
So going ahead, ma'am, we all look for inspiration to someone, to our mentors, to leaders. So who is the leading groundbreaker to influence you to be a better version of yourself? Which educator do you look forward to?
There are many educators and thinkers who have really had a lot of effect on my work style, my thinking and everything. But the youngest and the most noticeable person whom I've been affected by is Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel laureate, who everybody knows has been working in the field of education, and to be precise, in the field of female education. At this tender age, she is setting an example and has set an example and has given me lessons on how we can work on education, even in the most dire and adverse situations. Whereas she actually says that I raise my voice not to shout, but I raise my voice for those who are unheard. So this is what we are working with. If I apply this to my field of education, or where we are working with the students, we have to work with children who are with students who are not doing well in studies, who are not doing well according to standards, or who are children with special needs. So my now, she has been an inspiration to work in the most adverse type of conditions even, and to work for the betterment of the students as much as we can as educators.
This is also called, ma'am, viewer's choice question. We have a lot of parents these days and a lot of educators sending us the questions. So the question that we have received for you is, are modern education principles coherent with Indian values and ethos?
Yeah, I would say that educational principles are coherent with Indian values and ethos. Now, question lies that how far are we able to inculcate these values? How far are we able to keep ground to these ethos? In the conventional work, the work that we're doing in our routine days, and all the problems that we face at our workplace, even in an educational institution, generally, these values and these ethos are neglected. So as I said, these have to be worked upon with the hard curriculum, and we are working on that. Our educational system, especially the new education policy, it has reiterated our faith in preparing the children for, giving them knowledge about our fundamental duties, our constitutional values, and whatnot. So we have to, our education system is working, is obviously full of these values and this character building and all this. But we have to, as teacher educators, we have to work on it. We have to inculcate them in the children through our through our daily practice as well as through our daily.
Absolutely. So, ma'am, for me, I always look forward for education that would make my children not only future ready, but also impart values. So a value education coupled with quality skills that can be inculcated in children, there cannot be a better combination than this. And today on Great Principles, ma'am had shared her opinion and give us a lot of insights on how we can create future ready children who are grounded with values. So this was Neeta ma'am sharing her views. So dear viewers, let us know your thought on this, on making children future ready. So thank you so much for your time, ma'am. It was really wonderful talking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Seema, for having given me this opportunity.